it's Marine. Welcome back to my little English page. Today it's time for our weekly listening practice. And as you know, once a month we're going to do one that's a little bit different. Today we are not doing a fable, we're listening to a dialogue, and the type of activity is going to be different. Usually we do fill in the gaps. This time, just like we did, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, we are doing open questions. So you have to actually listen to what you hear and understand it fully to be able to answer the questions. So I see we have a few students in the chat. We have Lolly, we have Sheriff and Andreas as well. I think we have somebody new as well who is Mustashut. How are you guys? Nice to see you. So I see you guys were speaking in French a little bit in the comment section. That's good, you're practicing. And Sheriff, well done. You learned a new expression. Comme ci, comme ça. Very good. So today, guys, we are going to hear a dialogue. And this dialogue is basically a conversation between Arran and I about the differences between school in the UK and school in France. I wanted to add a little bit about the American system, but it was a bit challenging to include all of that and still be, understandable. So it's just going to be France versus UK and mostly England as well. But if you want, we can talk a little bit about the American system afterwards, because you guys know I went to high school in the US. So if you have any questions, I will gladly answer them for you guys. Hey Hugo, how are you? So as you know, guys, we're going to start with this. You could become a patron. So what is a patron? So a patron is someone who gets me a little cup of coffee on www.coffee.com. There's a link in the description below. And basically this coffee is a contribution that helps me pay for the software that I'm using right now, to pay for the editor that I use for my videos. Also, I need new light bulbs for my big lamps. You guys know I have a little problem with my tripod as well. So those are all contributions that help me improve the content every single time. So today, guys, we are going to first have a look, at some vocabulary. I want to make sure that you understand the most challenging words in the audio, I guess, so that you can fully understand what is going on. And of course, then we have a listening comprehension exercise. I don't know what's wrong with my voice. As I told you, those are going to be open questions. There are a few true or false as well. So it's a little bit of a mix, okay? All right. So Sheriff is asking, how's France today? Lolly, let us know. I don't know. I have no idea. I know it is not as hot as it is in Spain. But Lolly, let us know. How is it in France? How's the weather? I don't know. It's the weekend, so I guess people are in a good mood as well. Okay, guys, so let's have a look at some vocabulary that we will need today. So, listening, France versus you. No, I forgot to change that title. It's back to school. That's what it is. Back to school. Hopla. Okay, so the first word today, guys, that we're going to have a look at is frustrated. Frustrated. So this is an adjective. It describes a state of mind, and it's similar to irritated or annoyed. Irritated or annoyed. Frustrated. Then the next word, it's actually a little expression. It's very, very colloquial, okay? It can even be considered rude, so be careful with this one. It is that sucks. That sucks. So you can say things like, oh, too bad instead, or what a drag. Okay, it's a way to express that I'm sorry or that's disappointing. Okay, guys? Good. Hey, maybe we. So you're saying it's 45 degrees where you are. Gosh, that's hard. And then Lolly's saying the weather is cool in France at the moment. Very nice. Okay. Then the next word here is drop. Now, drop can have different meanings. In the context of this exercise, we're referring to not continue with something, so to stop something. And it's very often associated with, for example, to drop school or to drop out of school. That's actually another expression. It means to stop school completely. But if you drop a subject, it means you stop doing that subject or learning about that subject, okay? Then we're going to have a look at in-depth. I feel that this is a word or an expression that we have seen before, but it's quite important for this activity. So, in-depth means in details, thoroughly. Let's put thoroughly there as well. That's a good word. I never know how to write it. Thoroughly. That's it. I got it. Okay, in details or thoroughly. Then we have mandatory, which is also a word that I think we've seen before. A synonym, obligatory. Now, obligatory is usually more formal than mandatory. Okay? Hey, Red Brand is here. How are you? Then we have debt. Debt. Difficult to say. Debt. Debt, if you have a debt, it means there's an amount of money that you owe. It's common, for example, when you have a loan to say that you have debt. Okay? Then, the next word here, again, a word that I feel we're familiar with, but we need it here again. Accommodation. Accommodation. So accommodation refers to a place where you are staying, usually to sleep, to live. It can refer to a flat, a house, a hotel. Any kind of accommodation is just a type of housing. That's another word, housing. Okay. Then guarantee. So guarantee can be a noun or it can also be a verb. In this case, I think in the audio you will hear it as a past participle, okay? So you will hear guaranteed. But if you use the verb, it is to make sure or to ensure, okay? To make sure, to ensure, you guarantee something. If I guarantee that you will improve with doing all of those activities, it's sure. It will happen. Then another 2 words, okay? Tuition fees. Tuition fees. Those refer to the money that you have to pay to take lessons, okay? So for example, when you sign up for university, you usually have tuition fees to pay, okay? All right, so let's have a look. Yes, Trey, you're right. I do think I said debt, but it is debt. You're absolutely right. Exactly, very good. All right, okay, so that sucks. Please explain again. Okay, I thought you were saying that my explanation sucked. All right, because you can say that something sucks if it's bad, okay, so too bad. So I hope it wasn't my explanation that sucked, but that you didn't understand what it means. If you say that something sucks, it's something that's bad, okay? So for example, my friend tells me, oh, my car broke down yesterday. I would respond, oh, that sucks. I'm sorry. Okay, that's too bad. What a drag. I'm so sorry. That's not cool. That's what it means, okay? Yes, exactly. Tuition fees, maybe is the money that you pay exactly to study. And then Andreas is wrote a little sentence, satisfaction guaranteed. Absolutely. Very good, guys. Okay, so we've had a look at the vocabulary that we're going to need. Now we're going to have a look at the questions together first, okay? So let's put the questions here. Can you guys still hear me? I think you guys can still hear me, yeah? Okay, so let's have a look at the questions. The first one, what comes after secondary school? What comes after secondary school? So of course, guys, don't answer just yet. We're just having a look at the questions, okay? Then French people take the A-levels. True or false? French people take the A-levels. True or false? For A-levels, people study 6 to 7 subjects. True or false? What are the 3 main types of baccalaureate in France? What are the 3 main types of baccalaureate in France? So guys, I'm repeating the questions so that you can really hear how I am pronouncing them, okay? How much does university cost in England? How much does university cost in England? University is free in Scotland. True or false? University is free in Scotland. True or false? How much did Maureen pay for university on her first year? How much did Maureen pay for university on her first year? And where are Arran and Maureen going to move? Where are Arran and Maureen going to move? Okay guys, so you're going to hear the audio now, but there are no words written and you cannot see the questions. I'm doing that on purpose. So, when you take exams, guys, you often have to hear a kind of audio twice. It's very important that you read the questions first. That way, when you listen, you already know what kind of information you're looking for. So now when you hear this particular audio, you know what to look for, okay? All right, so before we start, guys, make sure to give the video a big thumbs up. I know that you like my videos. I know you enjoy them. I know you learn a lot from my videos. But what I don't know is why you don't give the video a big thumbs up. Why? I'm so confused. If you like my videos so much, well, show me that love and thumb it up. Give the video a big thumbs up. Bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 bum. Ha! Ha! So I can see that we have Khalid who is here and also Camilo. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for stopping by and joining the lesson. And of course, don't worry about being late. No problem at all. Okay? So, are you ready, guys? We're going to listen to the audio now. Be careful, this one is quite long. It's almost 4 minutes, okay? Are you ready? Let's listen. Just listen first, okay?
Sure. Bye, Mum.
Hey, was that your mom? How is she?
Yeah, that was her. Well, actually, she's a bit frustrated. It's my brother's last year of secondary school, and he's not in the same class as any of his friends, so he's being a bit difficult.
Oh crap, that sucks for both of them. So that's his last year of secondary school, right? Then what's after?
After secondary school, it's sixth form. But before that, students have to take an exam called GCSE, General Certificate of Secondary Education.
Oh, I see. I think we call that the Brevet des Collèges in France. It's an exam everybody has to take after secondary school. We call that collège. And after that, the next big exam is the baccalaureate, which you take before going to university.
Same in England. Though some people do take the International Baccalaureate, most people take A-levels, or advanced level qualifications. Those are the exams that you do at sixth form.
What is the difference between A-levels and baccalaureate?
Let me think. The approach is quite different. For A-levels, you only have 3 subjects that you study in depth. Actually, you start with 4 and drop one during the second year. While for the baccalaureate, you study around 6 or 7 subjects.
Wait, only 3 subjects in A-levels? So that means you have to be pretty sure of what you want to study in university.
Pretty much. You usually end up choosing one of those subjects to study at university.
Oh, okay. In France, we have 3 main types of baccalaureate: the scientific section, economy, and literature. Then, depending on the section you choose, you have mandatory subjects to study, and on top of that, you can choose from a list of optional subjects.
Do you also have to take a university entrance exam after the baccalaureate?
Not usually. I mean, if you go to a public university, you don't have to. Your admission is based on your baccalaureate results. Then, if you want to go to a private university, there's usually an entrance exam.
Oh, wow. In England, you have to take an entrance exam for some universities, and it's usually a different one depending on what you want to study at uni.
Even in public universities?
What do you mean by public universities?
Well, you know, free university.
Free university? What are you talking about, Maureen? University is painfully expensive in England. It's free in Scotland if you're Scottish, though. That's why so many students finish university with so much debt. We're forced to take massive loans. I think it costs around £9,000 a year now, and that doesn't even include the cost of accommodation or food.
£9,000? That's mental! But why do you have to pay for accommodation and food? Can't you just stay at your parents'?
You rarely end up going to the university close to your house. For example, I'm from Cambridge, where you can find one of the most prestigious universities in England, Cambridge University. But the entrance exams are extremely difficult. I mean, that's where Stephen Hawking studied. Very few people get in.
Oh, I see. You choose your university based on your results. In France, you're guaranteed a place in the university that is closest to you. So really, your expenses are mostly books, transport, and lunch every day.
So you really don't pay tuition fees to go to uni?
Well, it does cost around €10,000, but the government pays for almost everything. I think the first year of your degree costs around €200, and on top of that you have to add insurance, but it doesn't add up to much. I don't think I even paid €500.
Man, that sounds great. So Maureen, it's decided. When we have kids, we're moving to France.
Okay guys, so this was probably a lot more challenging. Also, you can hear that the volume in our voices is not quite the same. You guys know I speak very loud. Arran doesn't. We were standing at the exact same distance, but my voice ends up being a lot louder. I hope it was still understandable for you guys. So, a lot of information to cover, okay? So let's have a look at the questions one more time together, and then we will listen to the audio again, but this time you will see the questions, okay, to make it a little bit easier, okay? Hello, Swati Batra. So let's have a look at the questions one more time, okay? So we had, what comes after secondary school? French people take A-levels, true or false? For A-levels, people study 6 to 7 subjects, true or false? What are the 3 main types of baccalaureate in France? How much does university cost in England? University is free in Scotland, true or false? And how much did Maureen pay for university in her first year? Where are Arran and Maureen going to move? Okay. So, Red Brandy, you're asking if Arran is an Englishman. Yes, he is from Cambridge. He said that in the audio. Did you hear it? So, yes, he's definitely from England. He is English. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's listen to the audio again, okay? And then we are going to see the questions, and then we'll have a look at the answers. So, let's do this, guys.
Sure. Bye, Mum.
Hey, was that your mom? How is she?
Yeah, that was her. Well, actually, she's a bit frustrated. It's my brother's last year of secondary school, and he's not in the same class as any of his friends, so he's being a bit difficult.
Oh, crap. That sucks for both of them. So, that's his last year of secondary school, right? Then, what's after?
After secondary school, it's sixth form. But before that, students have to take an exam called GCSE, General Certificate of Secondary Education.
Oh, I see. I think we call that the Brevet du Collège in France. It's an exam everybody has to take after secondary school. We call that collège. And after that, the next big exam is the baccalaureate, which you take before going to university.
Same in England. Though some people do take the International Baccalaureate, most people take A-levels, or advanced level qualifications. Those are the exams that you do at sixth form.
What is the difference between A-levels and baccalaureate?
Let me think. The approach is quite different. For A-levels, you only have 3 subjects that you study in depth. Actually, you start with 4 and drop one during the second year. While for the baccalaureate, you study around 6 or 7 subjects.
Wait, only 3 subjects in A-levels? So that means you have to be pretty sure of what you want to study in university.
Pretty much. You usually end up choosing one of those subjects to study at university.
Oh, okay. In France, we have three main types of baccalaureate: the scientific section, economy, and literature. Then, depending on the section you choose, you have mandatory subjects to study, and on top of that, you can choose from a list of optional subjects.
Do you also have to take a university entrance exam after the baccalaureate?
Not usually. I mean, if you go to a public university, you don't have to. Your admission is based on your baccalaureate results. Then, if you want to go to a private university, there's usually an entrance exam.
Oh, wow. In England, you have to take an entrance exam for some universities, and it's usually a different one depending on what you want to study at uni.
Even in public universities?
What do you mean by public universities?
Well, you know, free university.
Free university? What are you talking about, Maureen? University is painfully expensive in England. It's free in Scotland if you're Scottish, though. That's why so many students finish university with so much debt. We're forced to take massive loans. I think it costs around £9,000 a year now, and that doesn't even include the cost of accommodation or food.
£9,000? That's mental! But why do you have to pay for accommodation and food? Can't you just stay at your parents'?
You rarely end up going to the university close to your house. For example, I'm from Cambridge, where you can find one of the most prestigious universities in England, Cambridge University. But the entrance exams are extremely difficult. I mean, that's where Stephen Hawking studied. Very few people get in.
Oh, I see. You choose your university based on your results. In France, you're guaranteed a place in the university that is closest to you. So really, your expenses are mostly books, transport, and lunch every day.
So you really don't pay tuition fees to go to uni?
Well, it does cost around €10,000, but the government pays for almost everything. I think the first year of your degree costs around €200, and on top of that you have to add insurance, but it doesn't add up to much. I don't think I even paid €500.
Man, that sounds great. So Maureen, it's decided. When we have kids, we're moving to France.
Okay, good job guys. I'm seeing some of the answers already. Very good. Now, I do want to know if you want to listen to it a third time, because I'm aware this is much longer than usual, and I think it's a little bit more challenging because you have not necessarily words or expression that you don't understand, but words like GCSE and not I can't say it. GCSE. It's GCSE. Oh gosh, this is tricky. Okay. So do you want me to play it one more time, guys, or are you okay and do you want to move on to the answer? So I'll let you answer that to see what you think, guys. Would you like to listen to it one more time or not? Again, this is more challenging than usual, okay? I am aware of that, but it's good, okay? You need to be challenged. Remember, if you only do the activities that I usually do based on fables, which are a little bit easier usually, it's not going to challenge you. You want to aim for a 65%. If you're at 65%, then that means it's not too challenging, but you're still learning something. So that should be your goal always. Okay, guys? So just let me know if you want to hear it one more time. If not, during this time, make sure you press the like button, okay? Of course, I forget to remind you guys during lives, but make sure to subscribe to the channel and to press the bell button. That way you'll get a notification when I go live or when I release a new video. Okay, guys? Hey, Coque's here. Nice to see you. And then Sheriff is saying, Maureen, I guess French people are lucky because you don't have to pay the same amount as the English do. Absolutely. And Red Brandy, okay, you're answering one of the questions already. Alright guys, so let's listen to it one more time and then we'll have a look at the answers, okay? I'll play the one with the questions so that you can follow along a little bit.
Sure. Bye, Mum.
Hey, was that your mom? How is she?
Yeah, that was her. Well, actually, she's a bit frustrated. It's my brother's last year of secondary school and he's not in the same class as any of his friends, so he's being a bit difficult.
Oh crap, that sucks for both of them. So that's his last year of secondary school, right? Then what's after?
After secondary school, it's sixth form. But before that, students have to take an exam called GCSE, General Certificate of Secondary Education.
Oh, I see. I think we call that the brevet des collèges in France. It's an exam everybody has to take after secondary school. We call that collège. And after that, the next big exam is the baccalaureate, which you take before going to university.
Same in England. Though some people do take the International Baccalaureate, most people take A-levels, or advanced level qualifications. Those are the exams that you do at sixth form.
What is the difference between A-levels and baccalaureate?
Let me think. The approach is quite different. For A-levels, you only have 3 subjects that you study in depth. Actually, you start with 4 and drop one during the second year. While for the baccalaureate, you study around 6 or 7 subjects.
Wait, only 3 subjects in A-levels? So that means you have to be pretty sure of what you want to study in university.
Pretty much. You usually end up choosing one of those subjects to study at university.
Oh, okay. In France, we have 3 main types of baccalaureate: the scientific section, economy, and literature. Then, depending on the section you choose, you have mandatory subjects to study, and on top of that, you can choose from a list of optional subjects.
Do you also have to take a university entrance exam after the baccalaureate?
Not usually. I mean, if you go to a public university, you don't have to. Your admission is based on your baccalaureate results. Then, if you want to go to a private university, there's usually an entrance exam.
Oh, wow. In England, you have to take an entrance exam for some universities, and it's usually a different one depending on what you want to study at uni.
Even in public universities?
What do you mean by public universities?
Well, you know, free university.
Free university? What are you talking about, Maureen? University is painfully expensive in England. It's free in Scotland if you're Scottish, though. That's why so many students finish university with so much debt. We're forced to take massive loans. I think it costs around £9,000 a year now, and that doesn't even include the cost of accommodation or food.
£9,000? That's mental! But why do you have to pay for accommodation and food? Can't you just stay at your parents'?
You rarely end up going to the university close to your house. For example, I'm from Cambridge, where you can find one of the most prestigious universities in England, Cambridge University. But the entrance exams are extremely difficult. I mean, that's where Stephen Hawking studied. Very few people get in.
Oh, I see. You choose your university based on your results. In France, you're guaranteed a place in the university that is closest to you. So really, your expenses are mostly books, transport, and lunch every day.
So you really don't pay tuition fees to go to uni?
Well, it does cost around 10,000 euros, but the government pays for almost everything. I think the first year of your degree costs around 200 euros, and on top of that you have to add insurance, but it doesn't add up to much. I don't think I even paid 500 euros.
Man, that sounds great. So Maureen, it's decided. When we have kids, we're moving to France.
Sorry, I had lost the little slide to find this. Alright guys, so I see some of you are commenting as well, guys. Hugo, you're saying, the problem is that French students take the tuition fee for granted and end up missing school sometimes or are not serious as they should, especially in the first year. Absolutely, and like I commented as well, some people even just sign up for the scholarship. So yeah, some people always do take advantage, it's true, but it is such a chance, an opportunity that we have in France that we can study no matter what. So I'm very grateful for that. And then Sheriff is saying he wishes he could be a Scot. And then Khalid is asking, did Arran want to clarify how the education student... Wait, did Arran want to clarify how is the education for students that come to study in England? That's very different, and to be honest, I don't think either of us know. I was kind of looking online earlier when I was doing some research, and it is true that what I did find about foreigners coming to England to study is that the tuition fee seems to be a lot higher. I don't know why, but the prices seem to be higher. Now, for example, for me, I went to study in England, but that was through a university exchange program called Erasmus. And for that, again, my government takes care of it, so I didn't have to pay for it. But this is a very special type of exchange program that only happens within Europe. If you're not from Europe, or if you are from Europe and you just want to go, to study in England, you might pay a lot more than if you are actually English or, from England. Okay. And then Sheriff's asking, do you guys win scholarships in France? Yes and no. Yes. Very often some of the scholarships might be just to pay for the tuition fees. I have some friends who only paid €5 a year, for example. And I think some scholarship exists as well for people who, leave, go to another place, another area of France, so that they can pay for accommodation and things like that. There's also university housing as well that can be part of a scholarship, I think. So yeah, it definitely exists. And then maybe we is asking what scholarship means. A scholarship is a sum of money that is given to you. Now there's, for example, in the US, it's quite scholarships are famous. A lot of people get scholarships for being part of a specific sports team, or for doing sports. So you can get a sports scholarship, and they tend to call those, when everything is covered, it's called a full ride. Now, we don't have exactly the same in France, it's different, but similar. It's something that's provided for free, usually based on your academic results. If you're good, you get a scholarship, or if your parents can't afford to pay for university or for other things, you can get a scholarship as well. Those, I think, are the main two reasons in France that you could get a scholarship for. Okay? Yes, and yeah, absolutely. The French government is great for that. And the same with health. It's pretty much all covered for us. Or you have a very small fee to pay, and then it's usually kind of given back afterwards. They refund that. So yeah, we are definitely very, very lucky in France. I agree. Okay. What about the quality of the education in France compared to England? That's a great question. I don't know. Well, I can only really judge, comparing to my degree, what I studied. I think the level is good. Of course, as we said, during the first year, you often have a lot of students that don't really pay attention or, study well. So it might lower the level a little bit at first. But I think otherwise the level is good overall. And just like everywhere, you have degrees, you have masters. Now, I also mentioned the fact that you do have some private universities in France. Those you usually have to pay for, and the university or the private school decides what price they want to set. And those can either be really good or really bad. And really bad because, people just pay to get their kids in those schools. So that's why the level could be bad, but also they can be really good, and that's why they ask for a specific sum of money. It depends. It really depends a lot. Okay? And then Sharon said, how about your tuition fees in Ohio? That is another great question. Oh wait, Andreas asked another question first. Should it be granted? Here you get scholarships if you're an excellent student. Yeah, that's what I was saying. One of the reasons you get a scholarship is for being really good, and the other one is just because your parents can't afford it. But very often those two are connected. If your parents can't afford to, pay for your university fees, the government will pay for them, but you will have to maintain a certain level of, academic level. You will have to get good grades to keep getting that scholarship. Okay? And then, should it be granted? Here you get scholarship. Yeah, that's what you were saying, sorry. And then Sherry said, what about your tuition fees in Ohio? That's a bit of a different thing for me to say. I don't know, because I went to Ohio through an organization. So we had to pay the organization, and then they paid for everything. They paid for the flights, they've paid for insurance, which was a massive cost over there in the US. You want to make sure that you're covered for everything. Just going to the general doctor, I think the general practitioner was over $150. So ridiculous. It paid for school. It paid for a lot of things, and it was quite expensive. But I don't think that could give you an accurate amount because I don't know how much of that was dedicated to the school itself. Okay, and yes, Coque, scholarship is a beca in Spanish. Absolutely. Okay, and yes, it's a new Spanish word for you, Sheriff. Alright guys, so let's have a look at the answers now. So, you can hear me, yeah? Okay, so the first question was, what is after secondary school? Secondary school is the word we use for English school, okay? So that's what we say, sixth form. Now in France, after secondary school, we didn't say it in the audio, but it is the lycée, okay? You have collège and then lycée. Now be careful, let me go back on here just for a second. Collège can be quite a confusing word because collège in France, you're basically from 11 to 14, 15 years old, sometimes 16, depending on, where you're born in the year. In England, college is something similar to university. I think it's 2 years and it can be before university. It's something after you graduate from lycée or sixth form. Okay, guys? Good. Then, French people take the A-levels. It is false. We take the baccalaureate. Okay, A-levels is only for English people. Then we had for A-levels, people study 6 to 7 subjects. That is false as well, because 6 to 7 subjects, that is for the baccalaureate. As we said, for the A-levels, we only study 3 subjects. Okay? Then question number 4 was about the 3 different main sections, the main categories of baccalaureate that exist. The first one is science or scientific baccalaureate. Then you have economy and literature. There are more baccalaureates that exist. There's more, but those are the main 3 ones that you find in every lycée. And then you have other ones that are a bit more technical, could be oriented towards technology, or I think some are a bit more oriented towards marketing. It depends a little bit, but the main 3 are science, economy, and literature. All right, let's continue. And then, yes, uni in England for 1 year is around £9,000. Give or take, okay? It means more or less around that. It varies from university to university. I think it also varies depending on what you decide to study, but it's around that. Now, for example, when Arran went to university, it wasn't as expensive. I think it was £3,000, but since then the price has greatly increased, which makes it quite an important and a decision you have to really think about when you want to go to university in England, because £9,000, think that you need to do a degree for sure, which is 4 years, I think, in England. And on top of that, you probably need to do a master's, which is more than 10,000 or £9,000 a year. So it's a tough decision for English people, I think. I see you guys are writing some questions. We'll have a look at those in a minute. I just want to finish the questions first, okay? Then, university in Scotland is free. Somebody actually raised or said something that made me think. So I said that it's true, but it is true that it is free for Scottish people in Scotland. That's very important. It's a small difference, but it's a very important difference, okay? Then the next question was, how much did Maureen pay for university on her first year? And it was less than €500. I couldn't tell you exactly how much. I obviously don't remember. It was about 10 years ago. Gosh, 10 years ago. And then the last question was, where are Maureen and Arran going to move when they have kids? It is France. Now, it's not true, okay? I don't know if we'll ever move from Spain. I don't know. This was for the sake of the exercise, okay? Alright, so let's have a look at some of your questions. Meanwhile, let me know in the chit-chat how many you got right out of 8, okay? So, let's see. Is there any specific test or certification we should accomplish before we apply to any uni in France? I don't know about a test, but one thing you'll probably have to do is either you probably have some kind of test like the baccalaureate in your country. You're probably going to have to get some kind of equivalence or some kind of translation of it so that they can see that the knowledge that you've acquired before university is similar to the one in France. So I would say that's probably what you'll have to do. But apart from that, I'm not sure, Khalid. I'm not sure. Sherry said, do you want to continue learning in the US? I would have liked to. I think it would have been really cool. But again, university in the US is also extremely expensive. So I don't think that would have been possible for me. How do you say matricula in English? That's basically it's not the tuition fees. It's not. It's the matricula. That's a difficult question. Okay. I'm not sure what you would call that. It's a fee. It is definitely a type of fee, but tuition fee covers more because it covers all of your classes. While the matricula is basically just something that you pay to say, I'm applying. I want to study in this university. It's something you pay to kind of just get them to create a folder for you with your name and all of your documents. Subject is sujet in French. Yes. Lycée is a school. Yes. If you might be more familiar with American terms, lycée is basically the equivalent of high school in the United States. High school. And then the equivalent of collège in France with American would be middle school. That if you're more familiar with those, it's similar. Okay. Around 180,000 Egyptian pounds. That's mental. And yes, Hugo, the French baccalaureate is drastically changing. My cousin is a teacher in a French high school, and she was telling me about all the crazy changes they're making. I think it's because they're trying to make the baccalaureate kind of a standard everywhere in Europe. So every country is going to have to make some changes so that it's similar everywhere. Okay. All right. Wow, Andreas, 8 out of 10 with some spelling errors. That's okay. Entrance fee. Yeah, I guess we could say it's an entrance fee. Yeah, that's not a bad suggestion, Andreas. Yeah. Okay. It's affordable if people know the value. Oh, I wouldn't say affordable. It's worth it. It's probably worth it. But affordable, I don't know. Affordable is something that you can pay, that you're comfortable paying because it's not going to leave you with nothing. So I don't think we could say it's affordable. Okay. Do you only play it once? You mean the audio? Is that what you mean? I've played it 3 times already. If you need Andres, go back and play it again, okay? Oh, wow, Javier. Javier was one of my students. Nice to see you. Hello. Okay. And then what's the difference between a bachelor and a diploma? A diploma is general. It could be anything. So you get a diploma for your baccalaureate. You get a diploma for your degree. A bachelor is a type of degree, if I'm correct. And then after that, I think you have an MBA. But I think these are American terms. I'm not so familiar with the university system in the US. But I think this is American, okay? All right. Yes, it is definitely worth it. Okay, guys. So it's time for the bye-bye slide. Now, remember, guys, you could become a patron. A patron means that you get me a little cup of coffee at www.coffee.com. And this is a lovely donation or contribution that goes towards improving the content. As I said before, for example, it pays for the software that I'm using right now. So please feel free to just go ahead. There's a link in the description. Just click on it. Just have a look. Just see what is it there. And if you're interested, you can buy me a little cup of coffee. Okay? All right, guys. So before I continue with some of your questions, guys, I just want to remind you that the next live is going to be on YouTube. And of course, it is on Thursday. It's going to be the 12th of September at 4 p.m. GMT plus 2. Okay? Hey, we have Teacher Will. Teacher Will is in the room. How are you, Teacher Will? Nice to see you here. Okay, nice to see you too, Javier. Yes, TEFL. I used to work at TEFL, and I do know that they share some of my clips. Absolutely. I don't know, where did you study marine? Did you get a master's? So I did my degree in France, next to Paris, in Nanterre. And then I finished my degree in the UK because I did an Erasmus exchange program. Now, I did not get a master's because I wasn't sure of what I wanted to do. I wanted to do interpreting, and I failed the entrance exams twice. What? Yup, failure, total failure, twice in a row. So that's why I kind of decided to go to Spain, get my driving license, and then I became a teacher. And then it just kind of snowballed, and that's where I am here now. And to be honest, I don't really want to go back to school. I don't feel the need. Maybe I will in the future, but right now I don't feel I need that. I will probably do more courses and things like that, but I'm not sure I want to dedicate so much time to studying as to go to university again. But again, we don't know what the future holds, so maybe. All right, let's see. If you pay for education, it causes more inequity. Yes, that's why I think education should be free. Absolutely. And that's why we were saying earlier, yes, in France, some people do take advantage, but I think so many people benefit from it that it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Okay? Okay, so you get a bachelor after you get a master and then a doctorate. Okay, like I said, I'm not super familiar with that. Okay, all right. Thank you, Will. All right, so that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you coming back every single week. I know it's a lot of effort and dedication, but I'm pretty sure you're feeling some improvement. Some of you have been commenting that in the videos, so I appreciate those comments. It motivates me to create more and more activities. Now, before we go, I did want to say that, remember, I started a story a few weeks ago. So it's a story time. It's some kind of listening activity, like an audiobook, where I tell you a story that I have written, and then at the end, you need to make a choice, make a decision. I'm going to start writing the second chapter very, very soon. So I need to make sure that you have all voted for which ending or which continuation you want me to carry on with. So make sure you go there. It's called Living the Good Lie, Chapter 1. I will put a link in the comments after. So if you haven't done it yet, please go ahead and check that. Okay? Good. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate that. I will go now. I'm going to go film a new video, and I will see you very soon. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, keep on learning. Bye. Hey guys, so you liked this video, you enjoyed it, and you want more? Don't worry, I have over 150 videos on my channel. There's one right here, and there's another one right here. And while you click on those little videos, guys, I'm going to dance for you. Ooh, ooh.